spending time with the Lord this morning, and He's teaching me a lot. This has just been a lot that He's been talking to me about lately, showing me, and really it's all about me. It's about myself and how I show up in life. And a lot of how I show up in life is how I show up with Him. And it's from a lot of fear and a lot of self-preservation. Now, this is stuff He's been talking to me about for literally the entire time I've ever known Him. So the last 7 or 8 years. And, we're like onions. We can get to a certain layer within ourselves and think that we are good, think that we are healed, think that we are whole, think that we have moved on, think that we are like past that place in our lives. But I believe that God will take us as deep as we're ready to go. And sometimes He has to bring things back up again because there are still existing issues within that layer. It's just that we weren't ready to go deeper yet. And just because I'm learning this now about myself doesn't necessarily mean that this is the bottom, that this is the end, that this is the deepest I'm going to go on it. This is just as deep as I'm going right now. But He's shown me how avoidant I am in life. And with Him, running away, avoiding communication, hiding within myself, feeling so unworthy, so unworthy at times of even having the right to talk to Him, to come to Him, because it's like, how dare I after I have acted, how dare I, after what I have done or what I have thought or my attitude toward Him, being so dismissive, being so unloving or unkind, even though it's not really what I want to do. It's my own selfishness, my own inability to be humble, to be selfless, to be obedient a lot of times, to do what He's asking me to do, to give Him what He's asking me to give Him, to partner in the way He's asking me to partner, because ultimately I'm choosing myself. I'm choosing what I want. And He's teaching me this morning about avoidance, and what He's asking me is to be humble, right? To be humble and obedient to Him, and to really trust what He's telling me, and to not question it and not do it in my own way, but actually follow His instructions the way that He's asking me to, regardless of whether I think it makes sense or not. Because there are certain things He's asking me to do that I don't want to do. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't, that goes against logic. Why would I do that? That to me seems like it would not help this situation, but make it worse. I would not do that. I don't think that's right. I don't want to do it that way, because in my mind, my understanding is that when I move in this way, it's going to produce this other outcome that's going to get me farther from where I'm trying to go than closer to it. And a lot of that is because I'm avoidant. And sometimes it feels safer to do nothing, because then I can just say, well, I'm letting it be what it is. I'm letting the chips fall where they may. And He just told me something so incredibly interesting, and I want to share it because it really, I don't know, it just really kind of rocked me. So I was sitting with Him this morning, and I was kind of like, okay, can we talk about literally anything other than the situation that I keep talking to you about? I'm tired of talking about it. I don't care what you talk to me about. Just talk to me about whatever's on your heart. I just want to hear you. I just want to hear you. I just want to be with you, spend time with you, whatever you want to talk about, whatever's on your heart. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to talk about today. Will you please just talk to me? He led me to Psalm 69, which is a verse that He gave to me through someone else many years ago, back in like 2021. And I read it. And sometimes, God will take us to scripture and have us read things, and it doesn't always hit, right? It might not always hit right then. It didn't hit then. And even this morning, it didn't really hit. And so I was kind of like, okay, like, what are you wanting to say to me through this? Like, what are you trying to teach me? And in God's roundabout, funny way of working, he kind of weaves and does things the way that he wants. He takes you on a meandering path sometimes. And he led me back to a note that he had me write in my phone a couple days ago. And so I read back through it, and that's when it hit. So what I'm going to share is the nugget from this morning, okay? And what he said is, avoiding is actually control. When you avoid a situation, or you avoid a conversation, or you avoid a person or an opportunity or anything, when you avoid, especially when you're avoiding what God's telling you to because it might not make sense to you, or you don't want to do it that way, or you don't want to do it at all, it's actually a form of control, because then you can say, well, I'm not responsible. I'm not to blame. I'm putting it on this other thing. I'm putting it on this other person. I'm putting it on this other situation. I'm letting the chips fall where they may. I'm going to step out completely. And sometimes God does ask us to step out completely, but he's asking me to let go of things. But in my mind, he even had to tell me the other day, like, you're being extreme. You're being black or white. It's not black or white. Letting go doesn't always mean acting like that thing is dead. Doesn't always mean acting like that thing doesn't exist anymore. It's literally giving it to me and letting me show you what I want you to do in it, whether I want you to participate or not, whether I want you to do something or not. Put it in my hands, not your hands. Put it in my hands, and I will lead you. I will show you. I will tell you. I will guide you. That may or may not include participation. Even if God's like, hey, I got it. I'm going to watch me work, watch me do my thing. You've done your part. Yeah, I've done my part up to that point. But that doesn't mean that he's not going to invite me back into the process or give me direction, because I'm still an active player in that situation. I just can't do it my way, because my way would be to do nothing at all. Well, God, go ahead. Take it, God. Take it, God. Take it all. It's in your hands, God. And it's not that's not true, because it's true. But just because it's in God's hands doesn't mean that he's not going to orchestrate or provide instruction to invite us back into that situation, to do specific things, or to say specific things, or to act in certain ways, or to go certain places. It could be anything, right? It could be anything. But just because we give it to God doesn't necessarily mean that we're like, la, 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 I'm out. Unless he leads you into that. Maybe he doesn't give you instruction further, and that's what it is. But if he invites you back into it, just do what he's saying. That's what I'm learning. He's just like, just do what I'm telling you to do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. It's in my hands. Yes, I'm doing it my way. Yes. But this time you're doing it with me. You're not doing it your way. You're doing it with me. So avoiding is control. Because you're literally controlling your participation, which does in fact control some of the outcome. And what he told me was so interesting. He said it's false exoneration. And I looked up exoneration because I'm a word nerd and I want to know exactly what the definition means. And basically it's to like eliminate blame. Well, if I don't do anything, then it's not on me. It's on that other person. It's on that situation. It's on you, God. It's not my fault. I didn't do anything. I was out. I was out of the whole situation. I didn't do anything. So how can it be my fault? How can I be to blame for what the outcome is if I didn't even do anything? Well, that's lying to myself. It's deceiving myself. Self-exoneration is a form of self-protection. Self-protection robs us of intimacy with God, ourselves, other people. It doesn't allow us to put ourselves out there. It's not humble. It's actually pretty arrogant. And just like realizing this is like, wow, okay. And it actually ties back into things he is telling me to do and how to be and how he's going to lead me and how he wants me to do things by being humble and being able to be instructed and to follow his commands and not to question it and like not have doubt and not have fear, because there's nothing to fear because he's good and he's God and he's perfect love, and perfect love casts out fear. So it's like it even though it feels contradictory to me in my person, in my heart, because I'm so used to doing it my way, that like he's beginning to break that down for me and show me that like this is where you get off course, love. This is where you mess up. This is where you get in your way. You become your own obstacle. And like I'm telling you what to do, how to do it, even though it's not how you would do it. It's not how you think it should go. But you don't know. I know. And when I'm telling you to put it in my hands, that means I'm going to instruct you and show you which way to go. I have to just do it. And when I avoid and be like, not on me, not it, I'm actually stepping back into self-preservation and arrogance and pride and false exoneration, because I can't abdicate. I can't remove myself from the responsibility and then be like, I'm not to blame, not on me. It's false exoneration. I just think that's really cool. So if you're struggling like I am to take instruction and just to be obedient, realize that when we do this, or when you avoid, it's not actually helping. It really isn't. Step into the vulnerability that it requires to be in relationship with God, yourself, and other people. And if he's leading you to put yourself out there and to be vulnerable, because part of that is like letting go of expectation, right? Because when you're in control and you're avoiding through control, like you're controlling through avoidance, you are dictating that outcome at some point, and you're taking yourself out of blame. But when you're putting yourself out there and you're being vulnerable, you can still let go of the expectation because you really don't know what's going to happen. And you can still place it in God's hands because he's in control. But at the same time, like, know that like you didn't shrink back, you didn't shirk, you didn't hide. And you can still release the outcome. You can still put it in God's hand and say, I trust you. I'm going to do what you're asking me to do. It doesn't make sense to me, but like, it's in your hands. That way we actually can be like blameless, right? Hey, I did what you asked me, God. Like, I don't know why. I don't know what it's for. I don't know what it's going to look like. But I know that I'm trusting you, even though everything inside of me is like bristling against it, and I feel so wildly uncomfortable, and I do not want to do it, and I would not choose to do this because I don't think that it's going to work out. I don't think the outcome is going to be great. If it were up to me, I would do it different, and normally we will. Just realize that it's self-preservation, and that's not what he wants. He wants us to learn vulnerability and honesty and openness, and to be comfortable being uncomfortable.